wife swap. I mean, Angie, I saw the first episode and we won't give too much away, but it's so hilarious and it's
Oh,
everything I need on my television when Salt Lake City is not on.
thank you. I know we're on the same night, which is crazy. So you'll get to see two sides of me.
Would you ever do wife swap?
Would I wife swap?
No, absolutely not.
Can you imagine swapping lives
Swapping lives?
with someone else? Who would do that? I'm going to Idaho. You're gonna die.
It's okay, so you have to tell me, why did you decide to do this? Because this is completely, I would imagine it was out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, I mean, I said yes immediately because to me, I knew it was going to be a learning and a growing opportunity, obviously. I had no idea where they would send me, but I just felt like it was going to be life-changing and an adventure. And to me, when you say yes to those opportunities, more amazing opportunities come.
Mm.
And I also think it's a great way for people to see a different side of me.
I agree. Now, was Electro or Sean apprehensive because it
No.
also was involved in them?
Yeah, you know what? They were both really excited and on board. Of course, in some of the scenes, you'll see that, the wife's, the swap wife, doesn't parent exactly like I do, or she's stricter in certain departments. She does have a teenager. So Lecter had to get used to that.
You go to Idaho, which is, I mean, different than where you are living in your beautiful house in Salt Lake City. How did you mentally prepare, or physically prepare, or did you prepare at all?
Well, I couldn't prepare because I didn't know where I was going. I thought maybe I was going to a beautiful horse farm. That was like my first thought. But I never in a million years thought that I would be so far away from the amenities I'm used to. So without giving too much away, I could not prepare. I mean, I brought too many things and I brought too many clothes that were dressy. And so I really didn't have enough of the items I needed to be living my new life.
What was the hardest part about all of this?
It's crazy. You would think it would be, and this is hard because I can't give too much away, but you would think it would be adjusting to a new life.
Mm.
And I think the hardest part was saying goodbye to the family.
Hmm. I would imagine you just missed them a lot and also appreciated your life even more after this experience, right?
Yeah, I did. Like, I love my life. I love where I live. I'm a city girl. I love my family. But I learned so much from them. And I really bonded with the family and the children. And Tanner was amazing. And so I still think of them all the time. Like almost every day, they'll pop in my mind. Or, I'll pick, oh, I can't give too much
You
away.
can't get,
They,
yes.
they left me a special gift and I get to see it out my window every day. And I think of them.
I
So
love that. Is there anything that you learned about yourself during this? Because I would imagine, like you said, it was completely different, leaving your family and then a completely different lifestyle than you have. Like, did you learn anything about yourself?
yeah, I learned that you can never judge someone else's life or lifestyle and choices by what you see on the outside because they could have everything they need and want.
Mm.
And no one's way of living is right. There's just so many different ways, right? Of living, of doing things, of running your family. I also really learned that I could slow down
Yeah.
personally in my life, that I've really got a full plate and I need to slow down and be more present. And part of that is me just trying to keep up with my to-do list on a day-to-day and trying to keep things the way I like them. And I learned I just, that I can still do both and that I needed a little more balance because I was
Mm.
feeling really overwhelmed by the time I made it out to Idaho. So the timeliness of all of it, I was in a really overwhelmed state in my life.
Mm.
So yeah,
Which that's kind of great then that you were able to take a step back,
yes.
feeling
Yeah.
so overwhelmed, and then you were able to take a step back and be like, wait, okay, actually,
Yeah. I looked at,
let me slow down.
I was, I got to be in another woman's shoes and realize we all have a huge to-do list. We all have a huge list of chores and family and work. And it's just different. I'm sure we both looked at each other in the beginning and thought, well, this looks like a simple life or this looks easy. And we both found out that it wasn't. And
Mm.
so it's good to look at things from a new perspective. And that's where I say it was very life-changing for me. It wasn't just, a job or, this one-time show. I'm taking everything I learned and changing the way that I live my life. Or it would have been a waste, right? It would have all been a waste if I didn't learn something from it.
No, I love that. Do you think it was life-changing for Sean too? And maybe seeing all the work that you do and maybe appreciate the craziness that you are able to handle every day.
Yeah, I think we are very busy. I always say, like, our life is not normal. We're very busy. Our daughter's sport, our businesses, maintaining our home, and the schedule that we keep with travel and her competitions. So we both have a lot on our plate. So it's hard because I'm sure at times we both feel overwhelmed. And I'm not one to ask for help. I think that I wait, or I make a lot of noise when I do the chores and to make sure, like, hey, just slamming the dishwasher shut or just clanking the dishes. But I think for me, I think it probably did make Sean realize, but it's things I should have told him. But I'm sort of an overachiever, a hard worker. So I'll just do everything without asking for help before I ask for help, or wait till I get really burned out to ask. So I think Sean did see that I was kind of feeling overwhelmed and I didn't show it, and I should have. And he maybe had to find out the hard way, when you kind of just get pushed to the brink of burnout.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that this wasn't just like a little weekend or a little show
No.
for you. Clearly, it had some big impact for your family.
Yeah, yeah, it did. Yes. I mean, my husband's naturally a helpful guy,
Right.
but I think it helped him remind, I also might not look like I need help because I will still have a smile on and be very accommodating all the time. So sometimes it takes getting put into a position where you need to ask.
Totally. Now, Angie, what was your idea of roughing it before this? Because I would imagine things have changed.
Well, roughing it for me is even like going on a little trip in our RV and having a little fireplace in the RV. We have a TV and we have showers and two little bathrooms and a little stove, a small stove. And that was roughing it for me. So this was definitely roughing it and very insightful.
Do you think any of your castmates could have handled this?
You know, I know that, like, I think I have thought about it and thought Heather and Whitney would probably both just kind of go with it. And I think they're both pretty down to earth and humble. And they would be great because I had to do some really hard things. And some of the hard things didn't even make camera. Bronwyn might be down for it. I just don't know if Todd would be into it. I think one wife is enough for Todd. But yeah, I of my cast, I thought that Heather and Whitney would probably be great sports and down for anything.
I couldn't agree more. I'm like, I don't think Mary would do well. I don't think Lisa would do well, or Meredith.
Yeah, I had to do some things that I thought to myself, thank God I work out. And thank God that I am just a hard worker by nature because it was hard.
It was hard.
Yeah.
What do you think was harder though? This or taping a Salt Lake City reunion?
Oh, wow. You know what? There was so much love in this, experience with Wife Swap. There was so much bonding and sweetness. And a Salt Lake City reunion, there's not always a lot of love there. We're hashing out some feelings, some things that have happened throughout the year that it's hard, but there's not as much love. There's not as much love that day. Maybe at the end of the reunion, we're hoping for love, but there was a whole lot more love here. And when there's a lot of love in something, you do it and it's effortless.
Totally. Now,
Reunions work.
The reunions work totally. And I would imagine you said it so perfectly. Now, if you could give me a word to describe your experience, wife swapping, what would that one word be?
Moving.
Moving.
Yeah.
Totally different than what we're seeing on this season of Salt Lake, which is so fun for me to see because it's just different. We're not fighting with Wendy's on Twitter. We're just like, you're having a crazy time in Idaho.
We're moving story along, but there's nothing moving or touching or enlightening about it.
Angie, I know we talked extensively about Salt Lake, and that's coming out right before BravoCon, so we don't need to go too into the depths of Salt Lake City. But how is watching this season back for you? Are you nervous going into BravoCon to see any of the women?
Oh, wow. Well, after the last episode, I mean, it was definitely not a great episode for Lisa or myself.
Yeah.
I feel like it was an episode I was dreading. And, you know, there were a lot of things said that didn't even air because there's so much. And that's where all my emotions were coming from for me, was like so many, like, just grenades thrown out at me about my character, my business, and myself personally. So yeah, I mean, look, I always say come with facts, and then it makes it a little less emotional. And where I get emotional is when things are not fact-based and they're either lies or rumors to hurt someone. So yeah, there's feelings probably right now between Lisa and I, and she probably will feel the same about me. But I'm never nervous because I like to address things head on. And I want answers to Soup Man too. So I'm excited to see her at BravoCon and find out where I get my soup, who the Soup Man is. You know, it's going to be great to reunite and get to hash some things out before reunion.